Hi, it's Stephen here from Sound of an Ocean Wave, and this is day 4 of the April daily draw. So as we close out the week and approach the weekend, let's see what message we get. And I'll be taking the first card from the Druidcraft Tarot, followed by an oracle card from the Celtic Spirit Oracle. So let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. We'll go there. And we have the Strength card. Okay, so this this means that we have to call upon that inner reservoir of resilience and strength in order to sustain us through whatever process we go through. It's going to take effort. It's going to take it's not going to be a quick sort of burst of energy and it's done. It's going to be over a certain period of time. We know that there's a process, there's a certain time period that is not going to be the same for every one of us, as I've said before, because we're all doing different things and different things take different times and, different circumstances that are unique to us that influence the period that's necessary for things to come to fruition. So we're going to have to maintain our efforts and our strength of will over a period of time, and that calls upon that reservoir of strength of character and resilience that we've built up through experience that we need to draw upon necessary times. So we may feel a bit weary, but we have to call upon that inner strength to get us through. There'll be times when we feel okay, there'll be times when we don't, and it's more often than not that it's through the times when we don't feel okay that we have to call upon that strength to sustain us and get us through those feelings, to get us through that period, to get us through to when we feel better again. This is what's necessary so that we don't give up when it would be so easy for us to say, I've had enough, I'm giving up. But it's in those times when we need to gather our strength and persevere and carry on. Now, there are certain occasions, let me just add, where sometimes it's futile to carry on. And as much as we'd like to, we have to say, no, it's not working. I need to move my energy elsewhere. And in a sense, that's not necessarily quitting. That's just redefining your focus and not flogging a dead horse, as the saying goes, or pursuing something that's never going to be fruitful. And those things we drop, but we're not quitting. We're just letting that thing go because it's no longer a viable thing to pursue. So there's a difference there. This is the times though when we know we're pursuing the right thing, but we're feeling as if we just can't. We're just so wary of the process of getting to where we want to be, and we feel like giving up before, but sometimes those are the times when we really need to pull through and call upon that strength, because sometimes that just before we actually fulfill something, sometimes we do feel as if I can't go any further. And it's just before that breakthrough moment that sometimes we have that danger moment where we could quit. And yet, known to us or unbeknown to us, usually perhaps not known to us, we're so close. And that if we only knew how close, we wouldn't think of quitting. So these are the times when we need to call upon that well of inner strength and resolve, where we can be so tempted to lose control and hit out at ourselves and people and in the situation, but we need to maintain that control, because we could self-sabotage the situation. We could damage the situation by our actions if not held under control, if we go too wild in our response just through because we're so frustrated and weary. That's where that character strength needs to come in. And this is what this card is reminding us about. So we need to steel ourselves with that strength and recognize we're in this for the long haul, but to have the confidence to know that we can make it and that in the end it will be worth it. And that's what we need to call upon as we move forward. Okay, let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. The Herbalist again. We had this before. I think it was yesterday. I'm not sure. I think it was. Yes, it was, because it's when we had the Princess of Coins, or of Pentacles. Sorry, the Page of Pentacles. And I did say during that moment that when we're pondering what's involved in creating what we want, there's going to be a process, and what's involved in the. Sometimes when we think about what may lie ahead and what the process is going to involve, sometimes we get a bit anxious because of past experiences, and that sometimes gives us that fear or that inner conflict about moving forward. So this ties in with yesterday's in a sense. So no wonder the Herbalist comes again to say that the healing that we may need from those past experiences where we have quit before we should have done, where we haven't seen things through, that we need to let this time be the time that we don't do that we follow through and see it to the end, because it's going to be worth it. So let's not shrink back from the challenge ahead of us. And sometimes it is a challenge, the process of creating what we want to create. But let's heal any misgivings that we've got there from because of past experience. Let's have that healing, and let's break through that with this inner strength that we do possess and see this thing through to the end. Okay, so that is today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 5. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.